The Tim Curry eclipse ritual breaking right now. Rest in peace to my favorite sweet transvestite. This is the 3 celebrity death windows within the eclipse window energy. We had Hayden Panettiere from Heroes, which is the eclipse symbol. We had Dolly Parton and Tim Curry both pass away before the eclipse coming up tomorrow at midnight. The time warp starts at midnight. And we had on this podcast yesterday, everybody please smash that like button. But we had Project Cheney breaking down. Bonnie Tyler also passed away before the eclipse window of energy, but she's famous for her songs about the eclipse of the heart. All these sacrificial rituals going on in the simulacrum where everybody watches these massive celebrity rituals, whether that's the World Cup. The World Cup was showing the importance of the heart sacrifices and the eclipse. While the world was watching this, what was to come for the August 12th eclipse? Ariana Grande, to the movie Carrie, to Perez Hilton, drenched in the blood bath. This is all symbolic rituals, and the sacrifices that go down on the eclipse is one of the most ancient when it is connected to the heart. And we're going to get into a lot of this stuff right now, especially when it comes to Tim Curry from the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which is one of my favorite films. I watched, I think I was in middle school when this came out. So we got a big decode for everybody today. Please, again, smash that like button, hype the video. Welcome to all the new subscribers. We are joined with Paranoid American and Project Cheney. How are you two doing today?
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
And also whoop, whoop with you.
Whoop, whoop. Project Cheney, how are you doing today? You're muted.
Yeah. What up, Donut? What up, Paranoid American?
What up?
I feel like we were just here.
Yeah.
Like a time warp.
Yeah. It's the 3 deaths. They come in 3s. So we saw this a few years ago with Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan went through the 201 ritual. I don't know where I put that. I put that somewhere. We got a lot of new information, though, and updates. Here's that 201 ritual. Oh, we got 201 people watching right now. Like, that's the freaking matrix right there. So if you're new to this stuff, to these rituals that go down with celebrities, let's go back in time for a second. Ozzy Osbourne in Gematria, his name, the numerical value equals 201. And this was the big 201 ritual on July 20th. It was the 201 day of the year. But these were the 3 celebrities that died in that same ritual. Ozzy Osbourne, Hulk Hogan, and this guy. And if you add their ages all up together, it equals 201. Now, I added the ages to all 3 of the eclipse window sacrifice of the 3 celebrities. And it equaled in Gematria Mystery Babylon, which is the Whore of Babylon, which I found interesting. But what are your thoughts? What's breaking today?
I mean, the Tim Curry thing, since you already started on Gematria, just 2 fun ones that I found really quickly, but that he had a character named Bill Snibson in one of his movies. And then Bill Snibson has the exact same Gematria calculations in ordinal for Tim Curry. So like he actually had a character that perfectly reflected him in terms of Gematria.
Bill Snibson or Simpson?
Bill Snibson. It was in Me and My Girl. And that was like his actual name as that character. And the other famous person that Tim Curry lines up with is King Arthur.
That's interesting. Everything that's pulling up is the freaking Simpsons. But right here, Me and My Girl, it was played by him. And that just shows how this gematria numerical values goes into it. That is very interesting.
I thought the craziest thing about Tim Curry is that he dies on Macaulay Culkin's birthday. Because the scene that sticks out to me the most is Home Alone 2, and that is the Donald Trump Home Alone. So you have this whole big, huge spell, I think, that's taking place. And it could just all be coincidental, but this is kind of the way my autism works a little bit. Also, that Dolly Parton is, I would say, top 3 drag queen personalities that people, it's like Cher, Dolly Parton, and who would be the third? You know, maybe, so I kind of feel like Tim Curry being the sweet transvestite is also pretty on the nose as far as Dolly Parton's death.
So I would say that the Baphomet is sort of a sweet transvestite, a little bit, right? And in gematria, Baphomet equals 80. And they all died, both of them, at 80. And they are the drags, right? Where you even had Dolly Parton said that she looked like a drag. And then you had the sweet transvestite, Tim Curry, dead at 80. So there seems to be a magical Baphomet connection to that.
Dolly Parton, there's a quote. She's like, "It's a good thing I was born a girl. Otherwise, I'd be a drag queen." So like she's famous even for saying that.
And that's Dolly Parton right there on the right, dressed up in drag. So these eclipses go in 3, and please interrupt me anytime. Shout out to everybody in this thing. I got the ads going on in the live. Yep. That's a.
This is also a lot of people are saying they already remember Tim Curry dying. Like it's a
Mandela.
A Mandela for them. They already remember this happening. They were like, I was a huge fan. I already remember being heartbroken about this.
Well, and that Home Alone thing too. Yeah, I saw that, but I don't remember. I wasn't in that micro computational compute.
Yeah, I wasn't on that timeline.
State play. Yeah, I'm not in that timeline. But I mean, I didn't. I think is Michael Jordan still alive? Because in my timeline, he passed away.
Yeah, he's still alive.
Yeah, so like this is a bunch of weird stuff. This Home Alone thing that you're talking about, you had Tim Curry in Home Alone, the Pigeon Lady in Home Alone, and somebody else in Home Alone, and they're all dead. And it's Macaulay Culkin's birthday today.
Yeah.
I also want to point out that technically Tim Curry represented Donald Trump's private security in that movie, right? Or am I just making that up? That was his role, was to kind of bust Macaulay Culkin for being in Trump's hotel under using like a fake credit card, or like because he kept faking his dad's voice using the little recorder, right? And Tim Curry's whole mission was to like be the security of that hotel, which was owned by Trump. So he was like a stand-in for Donald Trump's security.
Yeah, like the head of the hotel. Curious.
Yeah, and he's also the clown, Pennywise, too. So I'm sure there's a whole nother rabbit hole when it comes to Pennywise. But the big thing...
Well, we lost the penny. Did not just go away this year.
The penny was sacrificed.
Yeah,
the copper
away,
penny.
yeah.
Yeah, we no longer have the penny in America.
And this does go into the economic rituals for sure.
I like this because if Tim Curry going away means the penny goes away, and Dolly Parton going away means the 9 to 5 goes away, those are like so tightly woven in theme.
So true.
The United States officially ended the production of the new 1 cent coin on November 12th. After more than 230 years of minting, penny gone. Look at that scary. Look, I look up penny gone, and there's some scary pictures too of penny. And then there's Abraham Lincoln. I wonder if there's a connection to that, but that's interesting. But this date, August 25th, that happened yesterday, where we had 2 80-year-olds pass away just moments before the eclipse. In the eclipse window, of energy sacrifice. August 25th is super relevant because it is Billy Ray Cyrus's birthday. It's when his daughter, Miley Cyrus, who is like connected godfather, Dolly Parton's the godfather for Dolly Parton. God, I don't know what else to call it. She released Wrecking Ball on August 25th. So there's this August 25th connection to all of them. And Wrecking Ball, that came in like a wrecking ball in like 2012. This was a huge song, especially in California. And it was huge in a lot of the drag communities, I would say, as well. But there was that big show that was put on with her twerking, even introducing twerking into to all the white girls. What was also kind of connected in that as well around that time.
Here's a fun one that August 26th of 2009, the U.S. Mint released a new Lincoln 1-cent proof set. So there is a direct tie between the penny and Lincoln and August 26th.
So can you break that down again?
Yeah, so the U.S. Mint released a new Lincoln bicentennial 1-cent penny proof. So like every so often they change the design of the penny itself.
Yeah.
So one of those dates, they specifically changed the Lincoln penny on this exact same date.
I would also... Oh, go ahead.
I want to say like the Pennywise, Tim Curry, Penny, Lincoln, there might be some other like fractal thread there that might be fun pulling apart.
Well, I guess this is a perfect time to go to the super chats. Thank you for all the pennies in the super chats. We got Get Reggedy Wrecked. Says, whoop, whoop, muff, effa, whoop, free blood man.
Whoop.
Today would have been my parents' 30th anniversary. My dad and Papa passed away. I am so sorry for your loss. That's very sad. 5 minutes apart. Time slips. Well, whoop, whoop to you. My condolences. Thank you for the $5 super chat. We're going to feed that kitty cat. And thank you again for all your support. We got a $20 super chat. That's a lot of pennies. Very penny-wise. From Shepherd, 1516 says, love me some donut, Paranoid American, and some Secret Society of Good Guys. This be a meeting of the minds. Thank you so much, Shepherd.
Let's give Shepard 20 whoop whoops. Ready? Go. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, are we gonna divide it so we all do 7?
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Whoop whoop.
Whoop, whoop,
Whoop
whoop,
whoop. Whoop whoop.
Thank you.
There you go. Every dollar gets a whoop.
So on this drag thread, Rob Halford, he's the guy who created heavy metal. For y'all who don't know, Judas Priest. And he came up with this concept that all the heavy metal heads who wear the leather stuff, he got that at the Gay Sex Clips. Now, his birthday is August 25th as well. Somebody pointed out. August 25th is when the Wrecking Ball came out. It's her dad's freaking birthday. Why is Dolly Parton on the Wrecking Ball imagery on Wikipedia?
I mean, the godmother, right? She's literally the godmother.
But why would she be in it?
I mean, I feel like there's probably something we need to get to the bottom of.
Yeah, I got to get to the bottom of this right here. Wrecking Ball, Dolly Parton. Oh,
pre-recording.
Look, so this is crazy though. With the Dolly Parton's butterfly symbolism of monarch mind control, that the label she was part of is also called Butterfly as well.
Oh my gosh. And the classic film The Wizard of Oz premiered in theaters on the same day
of August 25th?
Yes. That is blowing my mind. I just read it just now. I'm like, shut up with because the Dorothy, I've heard from people that have written to me about MK Ultra or their own brainwashing experience, that there is a whole Wizard of Oz red shoe thing that is separate than the red shoe club that we always talk about, that has to do with Wizard of Oz brainwashing. And so
Because
it's just
Wizard
so
of
weird to
Oz
me.
is one of the first things that back in the day before Disney, Wizard of Oz is what you would show your kids that would kind of teach them about disassociation and having multiple personalities or being able to store certain emotions in a completely different character, right? Because that's what each of these different characters, one didn't have the heart, one didn't have the nerves, one didn't have the courage, one, one didn't have the brain. So that was the whole premise, was being able to sort of compartmentalize different aspects into different characters that you could relate to. And that's why it was like one of the first prototypical things that you could go to in like the Monarch MK Ultra programming, that you could rely that most kids had this pattern already built in. Now it's, whatever the latest Disney movie essentially is.
I would say this ties directly into Ariana Grande as well, as she is in the Oz. And
Wicked.
she was opening up the sacrificial window with her blood ritual. And her tour is all about the fragmentation of her mind that everybody's going through on social media when it comes to doom scrolling and looking through reels, and the fragmentation of their memories, which is probably directly connected to the Mandela effect, where people are not remembering stuff because their memory palaces have been corrupted.
What's interesting about that too is that Ariana Grande was Galinda in Wicked, right? And that's the good witch, that's the white witch. And yesterday we were talking about that was the persona of Dolly Parton, that Dolly Parton was apparently a white witch within the music industry.
I think this is a huge connection that you just found, because even down here, when you look at it, it was released August 25th, the day of Dolly Parton's death and all of this. But
also, go on.
Oh, well, it previewed in 3 test markets, August 11th and 12th, which is when this eclipse happened most recently. This is the helical rising of Sirius as well.
It's giving me, for the first time ever, and this could be something for way later on, but what is the 3 men and a baby, 3 men and a little lady trope with Hollywood? And I'm just seeing Wizard of Oz like that for the first time. Like, she's a little girl, not in her bed. There's no place like home. The whole time she just wants to go home. And she's on this fairy tale-ic journey with 3 grown-ass men. It's a really creepy tale just on that, Anyways, the other thing is Macaulay Culkin is in Black and White with Michael Jackson.
Love that music
and
video.
He will come up because he's Rabbit Ears is his podcast, and then the Pizza Underground is his band. So these are like him just like leaning in as the token child star. So then he's with MJ in the Black and White video, but it should be remembered that Michael Jackson was also the Wiz. Like, he's in the Wiz. So that's another version of the Wizard of Oz.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I didn't know he was in the Wiz.
I feel like with Diana Ross, maybe, which is probably his handler from the time he's a child.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the greatest kid star. Now this is a crazy thread right here. Wizard of Oz was just opened up a whole new portal. Disassociative alters, a topic that I've been diving into recently. And if you watch the most recent show called Season of Celebrity Sacrifices with Jamie Hantraw and myself, we go into the Ariana Grande Wizard of Oz, but we even tie it in mainly to a lot of this disassociative alters of the Fritz Springmeier mind control monarch, and the butterfly symbol, which we saw in the movie Smile, about a dual occupancy of a possession of this lady, in the movie Obsession as well, which cracked $500 million in the box office, one of the most successful films of this year, about dual occupancy host via a One Wish Willow symbolic machine that possesses this person and brings them into the sunken place that is in movies like Us or Get Out. And you know what's interesting? The film Get Out, where they send the conscious transfer host into a underworld, a Stranger Things upside down world in a sense, but they send him down into the sunken place. And I was listening to the director's cut of the movie Get Out, and Ariana Grande, her tour, she gets sent into the sunken place, which is actually Saturn, symbolically in her erasing of her fragmented mind control memories. But Jordan Peele, he went into, this is some Illuminati stuff. When you listen to the alternative ending and him giving dialogue on it, he literally says Illuminati. And it goes into conscience transfer, mind uploading. I think it all directly ties into transhumanism in a lot of ways. But this is a huge connection where I'm going to have to do some more deep diving, that the frickin' Wizard of Oz was released on the date that the time warp man died. My sweet transvestite, rest in peace.
There's probably some other theosophy dates that would line up with this too, because for anyone that's not aware, Wizard of Oz is basically Madame Blavatsky classic theosophy converted into a children's tale. All of the different color schemes that Frank L. Baum put in there, L. Frank Baum, all of the different characters, the Yellow Brick Road, everything lined up directly with the actual teachings of Madame Blavatsky, Helena Blavatsky, and theosophy, and Broadway basically was born from all of that. So there's like a direct connection between Wizard of Oz and Broadway and just classic perennialist theosophy.
I also would like to say, too, before I forget, that Rocky Horror Picture Show just entered Broadway just recently, just like Dolly Parton's Dollyland opened up the next freaking day.
Also, Tim Curry was in 2 different forms of Wizard of Oz. So if we need another Tim Curry, he was in there was a movie called Lion of Oz where he played, and then he was also the Tin Man in The Land of Oz.
Whoa. And just before, wasn't he like the devil in Legend?
I think so, with Tom Hanks, right?
Shut up.
I'm just kidding.
I can't go down the Tom Hanks rabbit hole right now.
I didn't even know there was a Lion of Oz. That's funny. Thank you so much, iMan Free 237 for the 10 jewels and the 6-7 jewels. 6-7. Thank you so much. Let's feed that kitty cat. Get the kitty cat super fat. So,
and by the way, if you really care about the real L. Frank Baum Oz, Lion of Oz is actually legit. That one actually came from the Baum family's Oz's adaptation versus like the Hollywood or Broadway version.
yeah. So, I mean, that's just that's a whole nother rabbit hole to go down from what I got set up for today's show, where we have these 3 deaths. We always see the 3 deaths. And the celebrity eclipse window opening up August 12th, August 16th, Hayden Panettiere dies. August 25th, this huge date. You got Dolly Parton, Tim Curry die. And tomorrow will be the eclipse, the blood moon, where all these sacrifices go down. Now, I found something interesting to add on top of Project Cheney's Bonnie Tyler breakdown of July 8th, where Bonnie Tyler, she's known for the heart sacrifice in a sense because of her song It's a Heartache, I would say, where you were breaking down about the total eclipse of the heart. And she died right before the hero died, right before the eclipse. And here's Bonnie Tyler holding out for a hero that we were covering. But you shared out something about a supernova. Tim Curry was a supernova and the ultimate cult actor. Now, recently, they have discovered new supernovas, actually, in the sky. And Ani Osaru of the Spiritual Shade Room broke down the importance of supernovas to rituals. he was connecting the tragic event of October 7th at the Nova Festival to supernovas that were just discovered. And we just discovered some new supernovas as well. That is, I believe, a direct tie-in to this. And I'm looking into these supernovas. The explosion was discovered on July 8th, the supernova, and that's that date that Bonnie Tyler died, on July 8th. Before I move on from the Jellyfish Nebula, we're going to get into Jelly Roll and whatnot. What are your thoughts on that? Do you have anything on maybe what I'm talking about?
No, not this. When I see headlines in newspapers and they just put like supernova cult actor, my head only sees certain words. And so I think the in me magic of it all and the idea of a voodoo doll, these newspaper posts are just doing that. They're fractaling the energy out bigger. They're making you all pay attention to something and they want you to know these specific words. So really, I'm just finding on X that I'm just going to tell people, I'm going to start telling people exactly how my brain sees everything. And so some things I'm just like, I'm just making a note on this, but I'll be able to pull it up later because I'm like Kardashian Coven noted. Like Mariah Carey just met with them. So I was like, Kris Jenner and Mariah Carey. So anyways, I'm just putting my full autism out there for the world to see at this point. And that is what my favorite part about hanging out with you guys and doing this live time is.
Yeah. So what
all I could see was that it was Tropical Storm Layla as you were talking.
Shout out to Layla. What was this coven that went on with Mariah Carey?
Mariah Carey had lunch today with Kris Jenner. And the Kardashians met with Britney like a few months ago, and I just see them as a coven. They all the daughters with the K name is the exact same as the Hiltons with all the older Hiltons. So it's like Kathy and then her sisters, Kyle and Kim. They all have K names as well. I think they're the older version of the Kardashian coven. So they have like a Disney kid involved. They marry a billionaire, in 2 generations, they're married to a Rothschild. This is like high magic. So that's how I feel like the Hiltons, little Kathy, her daughter, Paris, and what's the other one's name? The other one's married to a Rothschild. So, Kris is like the little coven with all her K girls and her meeting with Mariah Carey and Britney Spears and doing this kind of stuff. This is Kabbalah rituals. Like they're not just hanging out, doing nothing. Publicists are made, they're put on notice. These people eat at places to be seen. So then why are they wanting everyone to know?
Is this because like a witch, like a white witch of the industry just recently died, so of course they're gonna have to get together, like the movie The Witches, right, where they actually like all the top witches in the country get together to like make decisions based on like the rapidly changing world around them.
I'm so glad you brought up The Witches too, because real quick sidebar. So if you ever go to New Orleans, Madame LaLaurie is like this dark arts, dark witch. You guys can all look up stories. They even do American Horror Story. They do a whole thing about her. And the truth is worse than the fiction they show. It is insane, the reality of this. So New Orleans is dark arts. They're also one of the cities with a great fire. New Orleans was founded as a city on 8/25. So that's another 8/25 date. Dolly Parton was the Grand Marshal of the parade in 1988. So in the 88 loop of it all in New Orleans. And speaking of the witches,
there's an 88 connection here with the time warp, which we're going to get into. This is absolutely fascinating because it also ties directly into Eminem. Eminem is part of a moon ritual with Jelly Roll. So we're going to break down that symbolism too, which I've been documenting, because these are stellar cults. It goes all the way back to the ancient days where they're looking at these eclipses and these stars, and they're literally superstars, right? That we're talking about here. So this lady, before I move on, what's her name? Bonnie Tyler. I was going to call her Bonnie Blue. And don't forget, we got to talk about the horses because we didn't get to talk about the horses on the last episode.
I like we went from Bonnie Blue to horses to
horses.
Horses. So Bonnie is part of the Order of the British Empire and was rewarded one of these medallions. Everybody gets a medallion. Right now, they're setting up the Orgy Dome at Burning Man. So kind of in that same kind of window. We were talking about Burning Man yesterday. I mean, this looks like a murder shed, but instead of blood, it's going to be a bunch of goo. We will be back. See you again in 2026. So silly. Tim Curry died at 80, August 25th. Dolly Parton passed away at 80, August 25th. Now, August 25th is part of the 128 code. It leaves 128 days remaining until the end of the year. We've been covering the sacrifices with the 128 code with Matt Perry. Matt Perry vanquished himself in a pool, a hot tub, a bathtub on 10/28. That's 128 because you remove the 0 in numerology. And his girlfriend, Julia Roberts, her birthday was 10/28. So the birthdays aligning with the death dates, just like Miley Cyrus's dad, Billy Ray Cyrus, and Dolly Parton, the godmother of Miley Cyrus, even naming their name Cyrus, right? They're invoking different gods and stuff like that, or deities or historical figures. They're invoking that into the atavistic memory of the body. This 128 connection even goes into Leave the World Behind, because the eclipse, which was shown in Leave the World Behind, produced by the Obamas, was released December 8th, which is 128. And this whole show was wrapped around all this, where you had Julia Roberts, the star, and it was about Matthew Perry, and all the girl wanted to do was watch Matthew Perry on her iPad. But it's connected straight to the eclipse because the eclipse is the blackout. This is about the blackout happening. And when an eclipse happens, there is a blackout that literally happens. So there is a direct correlation to systems going down with this. But the 128 code is something we've been looking at, because on the 128 code, that's when we got the picture of George and Alex Soros eclipsing one another, the sun and the father, the moon, the sun and the moon. And this is straight connected to the Golden Gate Bridge. You can click those links down below and learn more about the 128 code. Because the 128 code is directly connected to the doomsday clock, which they reveal on 128 on January 28th. And it's about midnight. You got a couple seconds until midnight. Once midnight hits, that's the end of the world. So the countdown clock is for midnight. And I believe this is connected because this eclipse that's coming up at midnight at 12:12 a.m., that is part of this ritualistic sacrifice. At midnight, that's when they usually show the time warp. How Rocky Horror Picture Show became the midnight movie cult classic. That's when the time warp happens, at midnight. And going into time, the 88 thing is huge because 88 is connected to a hate symbol with the HH that Kanye West says a lot, right? The HH. Miley Cyrus's website is HH, and H is the letter 8.
Back to the Future, 88. So time again, 88 miles per hour.
Exactly. So Back to the Future as well. They go 88 miles per hour. So there is a time warp continuum thing going on with the 88. I don't understand it, but we'll soon.
Another weird connection because Matt Perry. Tim Curry was also the voice of the Joker, and Matt Perry's nickname was Batman. Madman. He like all the symbolism everywhere that he had was all Batman symbolism all over Matt Perry's IG.
Interesting. See, I was a big fan of the Sweet Transvestite. I used to watch the DVD, and I would listen to the commentary of the audience. Now, I never went to one of the shows because my mom told me that if you go to the show and you're a virgin at the show, they're going to put a banana up your ass. That's what she told me. So I never went to the show, but I felt safe watching the DVD at home.
Your mom's hiding around the corner with a banana, like waiting for the scene.
She's just waiting for you to press play.
I was afraid to watch this movie growing up, just for the record. The Rocky Horror Picture Show.
You were what? Brainwashed to it?
No, I was afraid to watch it.
Oh, it's great. It's a fantastic film. It's funny. It's futuristic. I like musicals. One of my favorite musicals is Cannibal the Musical. I also like the producers, Springtime for Hitler. Have you seen the producers?
Yeah, of course, that was a Robin Williams remake too, but there was multiple producers, I think.
Well, I like the Mel Brooks version the most. But going into all this, Dolly Parton, Rebecca Parton, they blasted her Wikipedia with socialist symbolism. And so I think there's a direct correlation to all that with the death of the Satanist who's known for drawing and working with Anton LaVey, drawing the Happy Merchant, who also died in this eclipse window as well. Not as famous, but goes into the Eliphas Levi, who created the Baphomet, who was a socialist with all the satanic socialist friends. So,
which one's worse, socialist or Satanist?
It's the same thing. It's the same kind of ethos, in my opinion.
Is it racist that I also, when I saw there was a huge flood, like in Nepal, and that made me think of curry, where I was just like,
So because like, they eat curry in Nepal?
Yeah, like Nepali chicken. like just how I cook. Like if I were to make certain dishes, I might use curry in them, and then I'll. Did you guys see that there was huge floods today? Like not even floods. Like what are they called?
That was the Storm Layla.
That is the craziest natural disaster I've seen. It's like, is this AI? It's horrid.
I know it looked fake because all that water going through so quickly. I'm not saying
this is every end of times movie where they show you like up in Tibet flooding. You know, like they show you the highest parts of the planet flooding.
Yeah. You know, KFC is making an Oreo chicken sandwich. And
finally. Yeah, finally.
I know, it took them forever. But
they finally got all my letters.
Well, the Nabisco Oreo brand is a Knights Templar brand. Jordan Maxwell broke down because of the symbol of the Templar symbols on the Oreo cookie.
Well, and KFC is a Freemason organization, same as Wendy's.
Yeah. Oh, Wendy's was as well. I know that KFC, he was a higher up.
Yeah, Dave Thomas came up under the wing of the Colonel, I believe. Like he got like they were both Freemasons, and the Colonel showed Dave how to run a restaurant, and then Dave created Wendy's. So they're both like tied together in multiple ways.
Oh my gosh, you guys, this is a weird one because I know Hayden Panettiere did not die the same day as Dolly Parton, but Galileo, did he first discover? Galileo demonstrates the telescope for the first time August 25th. Hayden Panettiere, the song that she has that charts from the show Nashville's Telescope. It's just random. Like, it's not like she had a bunch of charted hits.
There's so much strange connections to this, and even utilizing the AI, they probably be able to even connect dots even more precise with these rituals. Like here's Dolly Parton saying that she ain't dead yet. Literally 322 days later, she freaking dies. And here's just some more pictures of Dolly Parton with the butterfly symbol at the Dollywood. And now there's a storm happening named Dolly. A freaking storm happening.
Oh my gosh, did you see Storm died today from the American Gladiators?
And the freaking American Gladiator Storm dies. What the heck? What the heck is that?
R.I.P. Storm.
I never watched American Gladiators. Is it a good show?
It was a phenomenal show. It was kind of everything that you'd expect from professional wrestling and reality shows and Double Dare. It was basically Double Dare for adults.
That's a great description, Thomas.
It's not as good as MXC Challenge.
No, it's not. Instead of MXC Challenge, where it was the people were going against the course, in American Gladiators, it was the people going against these American Gladiators. So it would be like your normal guy, mechanic down the street versus this huge roided out like WWF guy that's shooting at them with like tennis ball launchers, and they have to make it through an obstacle course and then like push this big. It was a true like David and Goliath Double Dare.
I love MXC Challenge.
Yeah, juice to the tits, literal ladies and men, probably all men with some with wigs, like some dollies.
And it would be they would like have roid rage on anyone that beat them, because I think that the way that they ran American Gladiator is that the gladiators only got a bonus if they were able to prevent the guy from going through, because if the guy goes through, he gets the prize money. So you get these roided out guys that legitimately get angry at like just Joe Schmo.
Tim Curry, that's funny. It's the curry. It's making me think I'm getting hungry now. Tim Curry, he freaking was born on National LSD Acid Bicycle Day. I don't know if there's a huge connection there, but I mean, there could be a direct correlation into the MK Ultra experiments.
Well, I mean, I would argue that the Rocky Horror Picture Show was very much like an 80s version of like that whole drop acid and, go and have a public experience with a bunch of weirdos in the middle of the night.
That's a great point. Do you think Rocky Horror Picture Show live at the theater could have been an MK Ultra mind control experiment on the populace?
Could have. I'd be disappointed in the CIA if they didn't exploit that.
When I watched it and I was sober, I really liked it.
It's very true. The entire thing seems like an acid trip. And if you look at Susan Sarandon's character in it, and it's like two virgins, which that's what they call everybody who watches it for the first time, virgins, going to this, really dark arts acid trip like ritual. And that's Rosemary. That's Virgin Mary ritual. Now that I'm like thinking about it again, right. I feel like I should watch it.
You got the two virgins getting married, and they go into this mansion that's run by the sweet transvestite. And then there's a whole musical with Meatloaf. Meatloaf as well, when he died, there was ritualistic elements to his death.
So then you attach to Fight Club, and then which attaches right to Burning Man.
So please connect that dot for me.
Because Meatloaf is Robert Paulson in Fight Club. So he's the only one that gets a name from finishing the rituals that they all pull off. Fight Club is the Cacophony Society. And the Cacophony Society, the San Fran is part of, I think it's the Suicide Club. They all kind of create what is now modern Burning Man. The entire ritual of the Wicker Man that is Burning Man right now is created by the same people that created Fight Club. So if you even look at the currency, that you have no currency when they're there, it's all about destroying everything in civilization and rebuilding. And that's what they really thought they would do. And that's why Elon Musk's brother Kimball is also trying to hijack what, it's like two secret societies kind of combating each other.
Okay.
There's also an old rumor that in the Rocky Horror Picture Show, in Frankenfurter's laboratory wall in the background had the formula for LSD.
Really?
That's like an ancient, old, crusty rumor that's been passed around for ages.
I'm looking that up too right now because this is a direct correlation. I mean, you're getting the deep information. If you're new here to the channel, welcome to all the new people on this channel. This is a very, very deep dive into the pellet trail in the rabbit butthole. You know, so we're going deep right now. I mean, you're not going to get this information probably anywhere with this freaking Fight Club connection to LSD. And him being born on Bicycle Day, which is the National LSD Day, which was utilized in the MK Ultra experiments for mind control purposes. But Gerald Hurd as well introduced this substance to Aldous Huxley and other prominent figures that were all running into the same circle. So this all kind of connects. I want to hear a little bit more about this Kakafka Society. I never heard of this. This is crazy connection. Fight Club. I liked the book Choke. That was pretty good. Fight Club was cool too. But the LSD being created in the Rocky Horror Picture Show, it's not popping up any of that symbols, but that's pretty nuts. Thank you for breaking that down.
It was Frankenfurter's lab specifically. If you do like Frankenfurter LSD, you might find better results on it.
Okay, I'll do that.
And a real quick autistic thing, because Tim Curry was also in the Pirates of Penzance. That is, you had Julia Roberts with Matthew Perry on the screen earlier, and when she's in Pretty Woman, she says, "Oh my gosh, that is so good! I almost peed my pants." And somebody's like, "What did she say?" And Richard Gere says, "She said it was better than Pirates of Penzance." Like, it's just, these are like, this is how far off my brain is with like that's in a folder.
So who's the Hunchback? Because that's who I like the most. He was my favorite character.
I think he's the one that died a few years ago that everybody is putting in their Mandela effect. That was
Tim Curry. Is that Frankenfurter, the Hunchback?
Tim Curry is.
Oh,
yeah,
Tim
Frankenfurter's the main character, like Frankenstein, Frankenfurter.
So who is the Hunchback guy? Because I like him the most.
Ariana Grande, the tall white.
I'm a sweet transvestite. So Burning Man.
Clip it.
Yeah, no, it's that's fine. Clip it. That was super creative. So Fight Club, the Cacophony Society.
Cacophony.
Cacophony. Oh, damn. Wicked smart. Perhaps you've never heard of the Cacophony Burning Man Society parent group. Fight Club, a book written in 1966 by Chuck Palahniuk, confirmed his book release. Project Mayhem Group is indeed the Cacophony Society. That's nuts. And that's who created the Burning Man. Can you tell me more about this? Because this ritualistic sacrifice orgy dome is about to take place right after the eclipse.
The Burning Man is in, it's the shape of a menorah too. It's the Congress shape. And so at the top, it is a Burning Man ritual. It's a wicker man. It's an effigy. Even they make people put all their loved ones' pictures and things in there. And then when they light it on fire, they all howl like, you know, wolves at this Burning Man effigy. But it started way before they ever went out to Black Rock City, which you can get into whole symbolism of Black Rock in general and Rubus Negra. But this attaching to Fight Club, especially with Meatloaf, right when Robert Paulson shows up at the house, he gets his name back from becoming just a shaved head monkey.
And then you get the frickin' Tyler Durden starting to drink again, right? So you get Tyler Durden, Brad Pitt starting to drink and making it public that he's drinking again. So, I mean, right there could be also some sort of incarnation of substances for this event to go down. And I would also say in the show Silicon Valley, they had their own Burning Man in that show, and a blackout happened. Silicon Valley Rust Fest. This is when the AI became sentient in a sense and shut down the entire Burning Man festival and made everything go haywire. Part of it rebuilding itself even greater, a sort of build back Terminator. But when is the Terminator going Skynet singular?
This week, I think. The 29th, I believe.
I'm happy that you know exactly what I'm saying when I say words that don't like I don't get the words correct. Oh man! But I think there's a connection to this episode is predictive programming. Rust Fest. That was a great episode.
I know that movie Wicker's coming out.
Wicker
about like the guy made of wicker.
Wicker Man, but not the Wicker Man, but a Wicker Man.
Okay, let me look this up.
Like a man made out of wicker.
And you could say that's Eminem, right?
That's a Wicca.
Okay, I want to get into this. Eminem.
Not with the hard R.
Yeah, no, with the. I want to get into Eminem because I believe he is part of this ritualistic magic with Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll, I actually did an interview with Jelly Roll back in the Juggalo days when he was only in the Juggalo circles. I edited it, so I didn't get to actually interview him, and he was really cool editing him in the interview. So I've been keeping my eyes on Jelly Roll for a while. Everybody knows I pretty much called the rise of his fame because of the.
You're being humble about this. You made Jelly Roll. He wouldn't have been Jelly Roll without you intervening early on.
No, he worked hard. I've been listening to him since his Lil White days because I was a big Lil White fan. That's how I knew that these Memphis rituals connected to Gangsta Boo and Miley Cyrus and Dolly Parton were interconnected. Even though it seems like 3 6 Mafia might not be that powerful of a group because many people, I guess, don't know them into, let's say, the country world with Dolly Parton and all this. But Miley Cyrus did the song The Dark Horse, right, with Juicy J, or one of the songs, which goes into the horse symbolism, which we're going to go into. Maybe it wasn't Dark Horse. Maybe it was. I don't know. No, that was Katy Perry. But anyway, Miley Cyrus did the 23 song with Juicy J. And so there's a huge correlation to the rise of Jelly Roll with this Memphis rap, because I was really into the Hypnotized Minds, you know, the Juggalo world as well.
Well, I'd make a strong case too that Memphis and Elvis and Mind Control in the music industry was like one of the very originals. Like Elvis himself was likely turned into an MK Ultra sex kitten / assassin / like all of the different forms of MK Ultra mind control. I think that he was turned into all of those. And then the Colonel Tom, right? Like he was most obviously the handler with like this weird quasi paramilitary background. So I think that was back when anyone could do any. That was like Elvis's mind control programming was back when you could just shoot like machine guns off in the desert and not even have to worry about it. And now like you'd have to worry about the shot spotters and the flock cameras and the GPS, like all the things detecting you.
Elvis was the original Shakira.
Bold words.
His hips did not lie. The way he gyrated those hips incited horniness into the public mind. And they were freaked out about this. The same thing is why Rihanna's Twitter was removed, because of her inciting horniness into the public consciousness. Now, these are real articles you could Google.
Also, the movie Rhinestone, that song that Sylvester Stallone sings is Elvira. And, you know, like, I don't know who sings the original, but it reminds me of Elvis. Elvira was like female Elvis.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Yeah, El is like the God, right? God, and Elohim is the gods. And so Dolly Parton's death date.
It's Rocky too. Sylvester Stallone with Dolly Parton in Rhinestone is Rocky, the same as Rocky Horror Picture Show. So it is a Rocky horror having Sylvester Stallone sing in a movie. It is a horror of Rocky. It's just a different way.
And he's horrifying to look at nowadays.
It is pretty rough.
He looks like a doll.
He was like an American Gladiator.
He has Dolly Parton. He was like, "Can you make me look like Dolly Parton?"
Oh, Rocky and Project Hail Mary. Now, my theory is that Rocky and Project Hail Mary, they said it was a crab. Now, I don't think it was a crab. I think it was an octopus. So, Dolly Parton's death date, even the mainstream news is catching on to the schizophrenia. That her death date has haunting connections to the goddaughter, Miley Cyrus. We broke that information here an hour after the death, saying how there's a connection to Miley Cyrus. We didn't dive deep into it because it was breaking at that moment, but we were saying this is connected to freaking Miley Cyrus big time because of these ritualistic performances. Like this ritualistic performance right here is while Gangsta Boo of 3 6 Mafia died. And this was on New Year's. And so that whole Jelly Roll connection is important when I'm going into this Jelly Roll information. As Dolly could form as the next tropical storm in the Atlantic, in the ATLians, Atlantic. The next tropical storm will share Dolly Parton's name. And so let's get into Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll was opening up the Jimmy Kimmel show in front of a moon. You see this moon symbolism? This is the symbols that they're showing the world. Jelly Roll in front of a full moon that's about to approach, right? Jelly Roll was also the full moon in Eminem's performance at the VMAs for his Houdini Somebody Save Me performance in 2024. He's the moon up there for the Moon Man frickin' concert or whatever with the MTV Moon Man. Now here's a slide with the moon kind of symbolism with Batman, Matman. Here's the last photo of him, Matthew Perry, in the bathtub, dying with a picture of the full moon. We can go into the D12 and the purple kind of, there's always this purple light frequency. Even Eminem's first mainstream album produced by Dre showed the full moon, and he is Bunny. He is known as the rabbit in 8 Mile. And the rabbit is the moon, the bunny on the moon. There's a literal bunny on the moon when you look at it. At least if you look at the Maya goddess, it's a woman depicted carrying a bunny rabbit. This is why during abductions in movies, like they'll be carrying bunnies into the spaceship. Or you'll see maybe the first abduction by a Martian was Bugs Bunny by Marvin the Martian. Robert Anton Wilson broke down the bunny connection. That's why in the Year of the Bunny, I was like, there's going to be a lot of alien stuff because of the bunny. But
also today in history was the start in 1835. The Great Moon Hoax began publishing false reports in the Sun about life on the moon.
Okay, that's interesting. The Great Moon Hoax.
Yeah, I'd never even heard of it.
Life on the moon.
I mean, that was documented in the Book of Mormon, I think, even, or some of Joseph Smith's early talks in the early 1700s. He was talking about men that lived on the moon.
Mm-hmm. Well, I heard that they live in the moon or the other side of the moon, the dark side of the moon.
And Ghostly World in your chat, the Black Mirror episode with Miley Cyrus on it, it was all about Miley Cyrus's doll, Ashley 2. Which is just weird in the Dolly part of it all. The Dolly parts on is that her Black Mirror episode was about a Miley Cyrus doll parts.
What I found interesting about that episode of Black Mirror, which I thought was really creative, the way they executed it, was it started as a Black Mirror show, and when you're watching it, but by the end of it, it was literally a Disney show. They changed it from a Black Mirror scary, and by the end of it, it was like you were watching a Disney film. It was all happy and smiley, and it was very interesting the way that they produced that episode.
Well, just like a Hannah Montana show.
You just add an S to Miley and you make Smiley is weird.
That is weird.
The whole time with Jelly Roll, I was just looking at his fake capped teeth, thinking, what's with the capped teeth? That does not look good on anyone. But anyway, Smiley.
Also,
Smiley,
I'd like to point out that baby Biden right here, he had his moonshot at this time, which was part of a new program. It's called Biden Cancer Moonshot. And so there is a huge connection to Dolly Parton and all this. I'm not going to get too much into that. But
did Biden call it that? The moonshot?
Yeah.
What are you, like, only supposed to get it during a full moon?
Probably, yeah. Well,
interesting.
Because a moonshot is like, it's something amazing when you do a moonshot. Like, we're going to the moon. And that's freaking weird that Bitcoin is sort of mooning right now, like going to the moon, in a sense. So I'm sure there's a connection there as well. But
aren't you supposed to aim for the stars and then like at least you'll hit the moon? Isn't that?
Well, see, that's you're absolutely correct there. And we're entering a freaking Jupiter South node. This is the same energetic window coming up in November. And I think that this is going to bring chaos to a lot of this stuff that's going on, because they're not aiming for the stars, they're aiming for the moon, and they're not going to reach full potential because of that. I'll read what I wrote in this and see what it says, but it says the 1017 full moon ritual sacrifice is approaching. So this was during like 3-4 years ago. There was a full moon on October 17th. 1017, that's Eminem's birthday. 1017 is how many people were injured at the Ariana Grande event. As you can see right here, one of the first to really connect the 3-day window of sacrifice with the full moon, because now I'm seeing it kind of take off. So I like to ego boost my narcissism. I've been talking about the 3-day window of sacrifice longer than a lot of these new people. The 1017 is interesting. I don't know. You got 1017 records, whatever. So Jimmy Kimmel, Jelly Roll, he was performing, and Eminem also has been in the news opening up about how he was touching Dolly Parton impacts. And here's the letter of the touching of Dolly to the Marshall. Who could be the freaking Moonchild? Who could be the freaking Samuel Mathers? Which goes into the Moonchild book in the sense of the two different magical societies battling it out. So there's even connections to Marshall Mathers being the grandson of Samuel Mathers of the Order of the Golden Dawn.
Well, even yesterday we were talking about how Dolly Parton is like one of the blonde pop stars that has reigned. She's a Madonna, she's a Britney, she's a Gaga. You have to put Eminem in those. He might be the only male that goes in the platinum blonde pop star category. And it's interesting because he actually takes the crown from the platinum girls by mocking them in a song. So he gets his clout by picking on small teenage girls and being like, mocks Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears, and he becomes the platinum blonde.
Very interesting. I've also heard the correlation connection to the blonde hair, how Kanye also did the blonde hair, how it's connected to a conscious transfer of clones. Mm-hmm. So it's like a cloning type operation symbolically.
Well, it also, especially when he first came out, and the white shirt and like the bleached blonde hair, it kind of represented a clean slate for a whole bunch of other kids with no personality to sort of like use that as their clean slate. And then that's why all of it, like almost overnight, right? All of a sudden, the next day at school, everyone, like all the kids have got like bleached blonde hair, and they're all wearing like jeans and a white shirt, like out of nowhere, because it represented like the new archetype to model after.
Hi, kids. Do you like violence? Do you want to see me stick 9-inch nails through each one of my eyelids? Want to copy me and do exactly like I did? Try to say and get your life effed up more than my life is? My brain that way, try to get my head straight, but I can't figure out what Spice Girl want to impregnate. And Dr. Dre said, Slim Shady.
None of you idiots. Dr. Dre's dead. He's locked in my basement.
No, that's the real version is Dr. Dre said, Slim Shady, you a cutie. I'll give you a deal if you let me up in that booty. Did you know about that?
No.
That was the real.
I was only a Dr. Dre fan, never really an Eminem, except for the songs that he was on.
So you got Wu-Tang meeting with Palantir. You got Dr. Dre meeting with Bill Gates. You
know what though, the Raekwon with Palantir, everyone was like all like up in arms about this, or I can't believe, and of all the people that Raekwon would, you know, be meeting with Palantir. If you know anything about how Wu-Tang financed their first like 2 albums, it was running guns right up and down the border, like over state lines. So like they made their money as gun runners. So why is it so off brand for Raekwon to be dealing in Palantir at this point, right?
Right. It's just the military arm of the Bilderbergs. Like it's come on. Shout out to Raekwon. I wonder what he's cooking. I like Wu-Tang. They played Jordan Maxwell in their clips. And so did Heavy Metal Kings. A lot of hip hop used Jordan Maxwell. And that's pretty cool.
It was never necessarily like a noble cause to begin with. So I don't know what people were expecting.
Yeah, well, that's hilarious. I think that's a great connection. Now, Dolly the sheep. Let me go to a clip. I made a documentary called The Invasion of the Illuminati Clones that went into Dolly the sheep just to catch people up on Dolly the sheep.
And she was named after Dolly Parton, was she not? Am I just making that up?
That is literally Dolly Parton. She was conscious transferred into the sheep. It goes all into it.
Yeah.
But when the original story came
the original
out,
sheep, she was named after Dolly.
Oh, really?
After Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just being funny. That's wild. Okay.
And that's where I was wondering if the other sheeps were in fact named after other famous females at the time. And that's why I thought that's where Bonnie Tyler came back in, is because another one of the sheeps is Bonnie.
I'm going to play this clip real quick. That's nuts. I did not know that it was named after. So let's go to Young Donut back when he didn't have PTSD.
Human cloning is easy after July 5th, 1996, after they successfully...
Human cloning.
That's before he had all that.
Bro, I was going viral at
testosterone
this
and
time.
Anavar.
I was getting million views because of how handsome I used to be. I used to have long hair, then no hair. I had some new age freaking mandala looking thing behind me. I was getting millions of views, and then Facebook banned me, and then shadow banned, and now I don't get any views. So I appreciate the likes, but I'll go into that clip. Please don't make fun of my voice.
Cloning is easy after July 5th, 1996, after they successfully cloned their first sheep named Dolly. Dolly is the first mammal clone from an adult somatic cell using the process of nuclear transfer. Nuclear transfer is a form of cloning by removing the DNA from an unfertilized egg and injecting the nucleus, which contains the DNA to be cloned. George Seidel expressed all that would need to be done to clone a human is using someone's eggs in someone's womb for implantation of the cloned embryos. Now, this topic of human cloning, yes, the elite and governments have been cloning since 1938.
Do you like my confidence? Yes, the elites have been cloning. It was just so much confidence in what I'm conviction.
I'm not questioning it for a second.
I'm not either. I'm listening to me. I'm like, wow, that snap.
For stem cell research, therapeutic cloning, so they can be immortal and live forever. And corporations.
You see how I'm manipulating the world? You see those two dots in my eyeballs? Those two white dots in my eyes?
Very Busta Rhymes of you.
That is a filmmaking technique to humanize.
Why do you need to humanize yourself? You're not human?
Well, you'll start noticing this in all podcasters and stuff like that. If they have the intelligence of a filmmaking, like how films are made, you'll see that they always put the two dots in the eyeballs.
Based out of Canada with the U.S.
And my eyes used to be bigger back then. I used to have bigger eyeballs.
And Senpaku.
I did have the Senpaku for sure.
Psycho.
Psycho.
That guy looks like a psycho. I'm not. I can't lie to you.
There's a literal correlation to looking psychotic and getting views.
I think so.
Aliens, because
so that was that clip. I don't know. I thought that was kind of fun to show the Dolly clip. We talked about this. We talked about shout out to Wicked Clown Native Juggalo. Woo woo. He's been down with Donut before Donut was doing the conspiracy stuff. She died on 8/25. 8 plus 25 is 33. That's what y'all were breaking yesterday. I want to get into Beyonce because this goes into the satanic elements of Lil Nas X and Billy Ray Cyrus bringing during the lockdowns the opening up of country music. Now, hip hop music is at its all-time low in the streaming. And these horses, the Cowboy Carter, the CC, there's got to be a correlation connection to this stuff with one of the top Illuminati branches of the females. What do you know about the horses?
I think it's interesting that, well, it is the year of the horse, fire horse specifically. She's on a pale horse, which I believe Beyonce was walking in secession for the country. I think she was having, you were talking about yesterday, or Thomas was, about us having one currency, one religion, one kind of music. Beyonce was part of pushing that, like Old Town Road. Like she was pushing it in, even how she won the country music albums, and everyone has to thank Beyonce, and she had no business winning a country music album. So Beyonce on the pale horse.
Well, I'm just catching up. Beyonce won a country music album award?
Yeah, I think she cleared it.
Yeah, she's like you put on country station, you're just going to hear her and Jelly Roll.
No.
Yeah.
No, he's not even. That's why when you said yesterday, One World Music, I thought, of course, when we were talking about Old Town Road, Nas X, which I can't remember which elite, like if it's a Rothschild or a Rockefeller, it's some elite, but their big house is on Old Town Road. I can't remember what one it is, but but when you said that yesterday, Thomas, I was like, that is so on point. Like they do want us to have one type of music. Like here, you guys are all going to be funneled into this, and it seems like
we've already been funneled into one like mode of music, right? Because like what is it? Someone's gonna pull my music theory card, but luckily that's not this audience. But I think we're locked into like the ionic scale or mode, and that was outlawed in like ancient Greece, I think, because the other modes of music were known to sow discontent, and the mode of music that we have now, like the actual notes that we use to comprise our scales, those were known to create a more obedient, compliant society. Like the actual music that makes no matter what genre you're familiar with, they're all using the exact same mode of music.
You guys, go ahead.
Beyonce, like she is big into, because Kanye takes the award from Taylor Swift and it's like, this should be Beyonce's award. That's how all of a sudden all these characters become bigger than they were before that. Like they become all created in the zeitgeist. Now there's a whirlwind. Now there's a reality show added to this thing of like, oh, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, country music. And there's another picture of Beyonce. This is her on a white horse. There's another picture of her on a glass horse specifically. And I would say that is closer to the pale horse if you were to give everything a color and symbolism. The mirrored horse seems extra sketch.
So even the three stripes that she has here, how you got a fourth one up here, but it's really not in focus and it's not the full stripe sort of, but the three stripes I think is even symbolic as well, because her husband who cheats on her, Jay-Z, has the three stripes as he's meeting up with, you know, these tech billionaires as well. So there's a lot of symbolism in the stuff.
And Cowboy Carter is a 33.
The CC, like an M&M, which is like the M you were saying, Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, right on the side.
Yeah, that blue drip.
Beyonce.
I was asking yesterday who would be the reigning queens left now that Dolly Parton is gone, and you mentioned like Madonna is probably one of the gimmies. I guess Beyonce would be up there. Beyonce is probably
maybe Mariah.
Well.
Like
maybe Mariah, but Mariah hasn't. I mean, maybe I just don't have my thumb to the pulse of America, but like Mariah hasn't dropped like new albums and been culturally relevant except for when Christmas comes along for the last decade. No.
Well, I mean, Christmas, and then she also, I think, does like the New Year's Eve ball drop where she always goes out and just decides not to sing and walks around, and it's like everyone watches every year like a car wreck. Like, what's Mariah gonna do? And the Illuminati dolphin of it all. Just sidebar: Mariah speaks to the dolphins. It has to be said that she is the one that can speak their tone that makes them kind of go crazy.
Mariah was speaking with the Illuminati dolphins.
Yes, I'm surprised this isn't all over. It is the most famous dolphin interaction maybe on the internet.
That is so
and
interesting.
It's kind of amazing, adorable.
Well, we were talking about the secret life of plants yesterday. And the studies of Clive Baxter, who was doing these tests with the CIA on the lie detector test, he would plug these lie detecting tests onto the plants, and just through his intention of murdering the plants, they reacted to the lie detector test, even if he was very, 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 very far away into a whole nother town at the exact time. And another thing that they've proven to show is that if they play, I'm learning this right now, I'm reading the Occult Horizons, and it goes into this. If they play jazz music or classical music, the plants grow even better and even grow pointing towards the music. Now, they don't have a nervous system, so they don't have a consciousness, but they have a sentience. So they're not hearing the music, but the acoustic vibrations of the music, the plants will grow towards the music. Now, if you're playing classical jazz or classical music to the plants, what if you play AI jazz or AI classical music to the plants? What are your thoughts on that? Would you think it would still grow the same, or do you think it would be corrupted somehow?
I mean, I think that it would probably not be as good as playing like actual Stevie Wonder for the plants. So maybe it would come out tasting a little bit bland or give them cancer.
Really? You think so?
I mean, yeah. So here's the reason though, and there's not like a direct science behind it, but the vibration is just a conversion of the actual music. And when you go and look through AI music, even if it sounds like there's a bunch of variety to it, they all have telltales. It would be the exact same thing of what if every book was written by AI? They'd all have these stupid gives where it's, you know, it'd always be like, it's not X, but it's Y. It would have these tells that you would just get sick of seeing over and over again. So if you were to like correlate that with everything else, it would just, I think it's probably the next step. I think they are probably playing AI music for plants, that when you go to the store and you buy your produce, that eggplant was forced to listen to AI music so that it like becomes part of you, the same way that, you know, that used to be before the 440 hertz standard talking about music and AI. That was an artificial tone that they decided to just make global. So this is like one more step towards that one world music genre, is that like everyone tunes to this exact same frequency now, where before that it was a range between 428 and 432 and a whole bunch of other ones, and it really just depended on the room and the different musicians that you were working with and the singer and the area of the country. Like all of that had a little bit of variety to it, the same way that that kind of variety is what makes you stronger and helps give you more selection. So the advent of AI music and playing AI music for plants, it's giving you the feel of variety, but it's not variety. It's all like the same exact formula, just tweaking a little bit different.
Okay, all right. I'm not gonna play no AI jazz to my plants. Then I'm gonna find a vinyl record and play straight the vinyl record.
Do you think any of this is weird that it's Mother Teresa's birthday too? And I would
Today.
say Dolly Parton, they would compare her to Mother Teresa. She was like a modern day Mother Teresa.
Let me
Oof,
look for
that's
that.
a little rough, just because I see Mother Teresa.
Oh my gosh.
She was like, she loved like suffering.
Look at this. It's September 5th, the 9 to 5.
Oh my gosh. It is the 9 to 5.
So this was another huge connection that I keep seeing this date, September 5th, in the ethos. And thank you for the 2 jewels, Admar R1V, Silver Star. Thank you so much. Let's feed that kitty cat, get the kitty cat wiki fat. Thank you for the super chat. This 9 to 5 is huge. And okay. Her birthday's the same as Macaulay Culkin. I found some sketchy stuff with Mother Teresa, just like with the Dalai Lama.
Yeah, Dr. Fauci's mom.
Fauci, give me that ouchie.
Well, the story on Mother Teresa was that she believes suffering brought you closer to God. So her whole like public, her exoteric persona was that she'd go around and she would visit people that were suffering and dying of these horrible diseases, but she wasn't there to comfort them. She was there to like see them at their peak, because if they could be close to God in their moment of suffering, then her being close to someone else being close to God made her close to God. It was like this weird transference between suffering and being close to God.
And Teresa means harvester or reaper.
So she was gaining that loosh by being like,
kind of, yeah. I know that's, for some people that might be like heretical or whatever. I mean, I don't venerate Mother Teresa as a saint. I don't think that that's how that works. So, but yeah.
I didn't mean to be disrespectful. I didn't mean to be disrespectful. I was just, you know, me and my friends, whenever something bad happens, we laugh at each other. We do, so somebody be like, oh, so my grandma just died, and we do, and then for some reason it makes it all better. Or oh, my girlfriend broke up with me. Oh my god, and we're just like, and for some reason it like clears the air, or maybe we're psychopathic.
It's the humiliation ritual.
It's the Lush Festival. Well, I think today's been a great show. Rest in peace to my sweet transvestite. Any other things? We can go through the comments unless you guys got anything else to go through.
Who's dying next, bro?
Paul McCartney.
Wow.
Probably. Yeah.
You were quick to shoot on that one.
So I think it's going to be the two, either Paul McCartney, which would be huge, but I think the Rolling Stones, Mick Jagger, will go through a toilet ritual.
I think we're going to stay with an Americana, and they're going to go with a Neil Young or Bob Dylan. I think we're going to stay with this Heartland ritual and this Americana and kind of everything that built up. You know, like if you say we have this like thread of pop culture that kind of holds us together, they want to break that.
That
Would be
makes
my
sense.
guess.
I mean, cyclosporiasis straight came out of the fartland of America, the heartland of America. And I've been saying that this is all about these heart sacrifices. And we're talking about the threes. I got to bring up that lady who killed her 3 kids, right? That's another 3. And then you got a witch coven behind her, supporting her, raising $1 million for this lady who murdered 3 children. And so there seems to be, and they're all throwing up the heart symbol. They do a little heart symbol.
And they're all wearing pink, like that breast symbol, breast cancer ribbon, and that
Yeah, the
is right to
Susan
Dolly
G.
Parton,
Komen.
right to tits.
So that's interconnected to all this too, the heart sacrifice, which takes place on the eclipse. The eclipse, you take the heart out and then you let the blood go down the pyramid so it feeds the plants for the phosphorus. Then you play the jazz music. They would
Eclipse of the heart, yeah.
total eclipse of the heart. They sacrifice the heart on the top of the pyramid. The blood goes down to the plants, and then they play jazz music to the plants while that's going on.
They play Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah. This has been a fun show. I appreciate both of you. I got Paranoid Americans links down below, Project Cheney's links down below. Tomorrow, you two do, no, not tomorrow, but on Friday, y'all have a show that you do. Paranoid American and I are also going on the Bee Lady podcast to talk about Illuminati toilets. What else?
Miriam Heinem?
Yes.
Okay.
So I don't know if you know about that. Paranoid.
I know about the Bee Lady.
Yeah, Bee Lady. Shout out to the Bee Lady. Anything else before we close out?
I would say if you haven't seen it yet, throw on Apocalypto. If you want to see what the eclipse is about, throw on Apocalypto.
That's a great call.
Yeah, throw on Apocalypto and watch my movie that I put out. It's a 15-minute documentary movie called Illuminati Blue Horses, Methylene Blucifer, while they're turning everybody blue because they're going to sacrifice them to the god Chalk. Anyway, it's Donut. Much love and God bless you.
God bless.